Okay. Hello and welcome. This is the podcast I Do What I Want, and my name is Hollis. Hi, I'm your host. I'm also an author, as any of you who have ever listened to a single episode of this podcast knows. This podcast is about books, specifically mostly my books. I like to talk to other people about their books too. Yeah, that's what it's all about. I do what I want. It's pretty much my life motto, and I've lived pretty well so far with it. So this week, last week was a character study on Lucretia, who is the main character in Spare the Swallow, and the continuing main character through the Lost Beacon Chronicles, which ignited. The first book in the Lost Beacon Chronicles will be coming out November 16th. I'm typing it up. I'm getting it edited. Super excited. And I am going to be doing a cover reveal on October 6th. Spoiler alert, I actually already designed it. Oh yes, I designed it already. Very excited, very pleased, very happy with myself. So trying to get a little bit more regimented, professional, something as an indie author, so that I can go ahead and get these books turning a little faster for you, because I'm writing 2 separate fantasy series, so that's what I want to do. The other thing I want to just mention is my other current work in progress, which I just started writing, Tear in the World, which is coming in 2024. It will be book 3 in the Rashawn series. So, as you already know, To Save a World, the first one, that is available. Then The Queen Witch, book 2 in the Rashawn series, that is also available. So you can go get them now on Amazon or, frankly, wherever. So yeah, paperback or ebook, whatever you want. They're out, they're ready. Give them a read, and Tear in the World will be coming in 2024. I just started writing it, so we're in the first couple chapters. It will not be as long as the first 2. I am aiming for late spring, early summer 2024. So we shall see. That's what we shall see about. Yes, it's all outlined. I've got it's up here. And then the hardest part of writing, as many of you know if you are writers yourselves, or just creative people in general, whenever you have a beautiful idea, even though you know exactly what you want from said idea, translating it onto canvas or paper or whatever your medium is, that can be very different. But I'm going to do it. I have everything outlined. I've actually already started playing with a couple of cover designs for that as well, because, hey, I felt inspired. So those are my 2 current works in progress. And in 2024, I also might go ahead and put out a poetry book. I don't really consider myself a poet. I love poetry. I enjoy reading it. As many of you know, I'm a big supporter of my friend Sarah Aaron, who wrote Behind Her City Eyes. And she was a runner-up in the International Book Awards. I designed the cover for that book as well. Very proud. And she is releasing, she just released another poetry book that, oh my God, I forgot the name of it. I'll look it up. I'll type it in the thing. And she's also my publisher. She created and runs 21 Chieftains Press, which is a New York press. It's awesome. I'm excited. So there's all of that. And but I have poetry that I like to write just for my own funsies. Every now and again, ever since I was little, I've written poetry, and I actually have kept a lot of my poems, and I just was looking at them the other day and rereading some and going, this really isn't bad. I know I was a kid when I wrote this, or I know I wrote it a couple years ago, or whatever, just random collections, but maybe I could throw this together and put it in a book. because frankly, I have enough. And why not? Why shouldn't I share? So that is in the works there. And then, as always, my mother wants me to write a recipe book, but I don't do recipes, so I don't know. I just cook the way I want. I don't use measurements. It'll be a really interesting recipe book. I actually also have to remember what it is that I make that people want to know how to do, so that'll be fun. But yeah, that is everything that's happening there. The other thing that's happening before jumping in, because this episode is going to be about DragonCon updates, because DragonCon 2023 is happening Labor Day weekend, which is in 12 days. And I'll be there, like I am every DragonCon. But the other thing I want to mention is, I think I've mentioned before, Trip Ainsworth, who is the author of the Smoke Pit Fairy Tales series. Really cool, really gritty sci-fi, like World War III series, and it's just awesome. He's a veteran, he's an Iraq veteran. He knows, he's, former Marine. He knows all the things about warfare, and so he wrote this World War III epic. I think it's 11 books long, if I'm remembering correctly. I've read the first 3. I need to get in the others. They're really good. It's just I keep getting distracted by writing my own books and honestly reading some other books that are also really good. So it's hard, but there's time. I'm going to read more. I wonderfully recommend it. His audiobook has been getting some traction on Spotify lately. I recommend you listen to it if you like gritty sci-fi. Gonna caution you, it gets graphic. So if you're not okay with cursing and graphic nature of fighting and frankly sex and some other gross things, then Smoke Pit Fairy Tales is not for you. But if you're fine with all that, which personally I am, I know on this podcast I really don't curse and that sort of thing, but I'm really fine. But I actually am the voice of Gunnery Sergeant Chancworth in the Smoke Pit Fairy Tales audiobook, which I love. She's not a nice person. She's like on the right side of the war and fighting on, the side of our heroes, but she's kind of a bitch. And it was really fun to voice her. So she's like a control freak. And I had a lot of fun voicing her. And so my voice is part of the Smoke Pit Fairy Tales series, which is exciting. And I am going to be chatting with Trip this September. I know it will be pre-recorded. I'll be chatting with him September 8th, just to do like an episode for his podcast, talk about the audiobook, like banter back and forth. We'll just hang out, have a great time. And but yeah, if you want to follow him, he's on Spotify, Smoke Pit Fairy Tales, or Trip with 2 P's, Ainsworth with an A. And yeah, great author, really creative, honestly fucking hilarious. Oh, I'm sorry. I usually try not to curse on this podcast. Hilarious guy. And yeah, but you can follow him on Spotify, his audiobook, he's posting it all there. He's producing it all himself. Really talented. He's actually an extremely talented painter as well. He does all his own artwork. It's great. And he's on Instagram. He did have a YouTube channel for a while, and then YouTube canceled him because they said his content was too graphic. Which, anyway, it's a whole like freedom of speech disagreement issue, because frankly, he never said any of his content was for, in fact, he said it was graphic. He labeled it as definitely not for kids. This is explicit content, should not be listened to by people. He did all of the correct labeling and precautions, and there are things that are 10 times worse on YouTube that they allow to stay up, so it's kind of messed up. But it is what it is, and he is just taking off on Spotify, so more power to him. Yes, so I'll be chatting with him, and I will let you know when that episode of his podcast where I'm going to be chatting with him is going to go live, or whatever. I'm sure I'll figure it out when he and I talk on September 8th. And we'll figure out when it goes. And if you want to follow him and see what he's about, I follow him on Instagram. So if you already follow me, it's easy to find. And yeah, you could just find him that way. I tag him in several of my posts, and he tags me. So, we're friendly. So there's all that. Now let's get down to DragonCon, which is in 12 days. Oh my goodness. I am going to be there Friday night and for a part of Saturday. I'm not staying at the con this year. I will be just kind of going in and out. And I will be, on Friday night, I will definitely be in costume, actually, as a rooster. I will be in a faux feather rooster costume with the rest of the Chinese zodiac, because some friends and I, who have cosplayed together in groups before, we actually did the traditional opera Valkyrie. I was Rosweizy, the Valkyrie from the traditional opera. Years ago, we've done, fairies, and anyway, it doesn't matter. We've done like Greek mythology. There's like 10 of us, something. I don't think we quite have the entire Chinese zodiac. I think we're missing a couple of animals because there aren't enough of us in the group, but we have the majority. I think about 8 of us are doing it, and yeah, I'll be the rooster. I am actually a dog by Chinese zodiac, in case anyone is curious. I am a Gemini water dog, for those of you who know, like, Gemini is an air sign, but in Chinese zodiac, I am a water dog. Just if you're curious to know, those are my signs. Born the hour of the rabbit, actually. I have a lot. My moon is in Scorpio. I know all the nonsense. I know it all. I am very interested and love reading about that kind of stuff. But I chose to be the rooster because I have been really into making a lot of faux feather things lately. I have a wonderful friend, Monica, who she's also known as Vegan Pole Dancer on Instagram, and she heads up a movement called Feather Phase Out. It's at Feather Phase Out. I'll put it in the thing, and they are on Instagram, and basically it's, hey, let's just stop using real feathers in fashion, and particularly for dancers and burlesque performers and things like that. There is absolutely no need to hurt the birds, the poor birds, because there is absolutely no ethical way to gather feathers. Birds simply don't shed enough. They don't. I'm, sorry to burst anybody's bubble who thought otherwise, and the companies do lie to you, but it actually supports black market dealings. A lot of peacock feathers in particular are on the black market. It promotes illegal trade and black market international dealings, and honestly, a lot of the drug trade is connected with feather imports and exports. And the bottom line is this is absolutely cruel. They, plucking birds' feathers is the equivalent of having, to a human being, would be the equivalent to having your fingernails pulled out, pain-wise. And they do this to babies, to baby birds, and it's horrible. So not only is it promoting a lot of illegal trade and activities and frankly having to deal with a lot of drug dealings, it is also there is just no ethical way to do it. It's extraordinarily cruel, and it doesn't matter if you're vegan or anything like that. I think that if you just don't want to cause another living creature to be in so much constant pain for the sake of fashion, it's silly. Plus, with faux feathers, I've made a few really beautiful pieces myself. Number one, it's, of course, more ethical. It's more sustainable. There's always a way to make more fabric. It's 10 times more durable. I have personally, I'm not going to lie, I've used feathers in my cosplays in the past before when I just wasn't even thinking about it. And that's why it's called Feather Phase Out. No one's asking you to go throw away things that were feathers that you owned previously. Like, that's already happened. Those birds are already dead. It sucks, but you already have it. We're not saying go burn all that stuff. We're saying moving forward, just don't buy feathers anymore. Don't use or buy feathers anymore. Buy faux. There are so many faux feather options. They actually are so much more durable. I've made like little faux feather fascinators, those tiny little hats that like sit on the side of your head. I've made a faux feather bolero, some boas. My rooster costume will be entirely made of faux feathers using faux floral elements and tulle and just, the way that you cut some fabric. It's beautiful. It lays perfect and get exactly the color you want, and you can't hurt it. With a real feathers are quite delicate, but faux feathers, smash that up, stuff it in a suitcase, move on with your life, and it'll last forever. Re-glue it. But real feathers are actually very, very delicate. So even if you're not concerned with the environment or cruelty to animals, it's just better value. And on top of all of that, faux feathers are less expensive. So they last longer, they tend to look better, they hold up better over the years, and they cost less. So yeah, feather phase out. Again, I'll put the little sign or handle, that's what it's called, in my thing, but I will be a rooster. So I went off on a little tangent there. I actually do feel passionately about it. It's Monica's movement, but she is a personal friend, and honestly, I feel very strongly about it. I feel the same way she does, and I would love to just get everybody in a better place, and let's be nice to the birds. They don't deserve it. And I grew up with a bird. It was my sister's bird, but he was a very sweet boy. He was a very, very sweet cockatiel, and they're great. They're great little animals, or big animals, depending on what you're looking at. The other thing I want to, going forward, so I'll be a rooster on Friday night, and on Saturday I'm hoping to have my Ushi. Ushi is the supreme goddess of the cosmos from Spare the Swallow. I'm hoping to have that cosplay done so I can wear it on Saturday. I don't know. If I don't have it done, I'll be a little bit dressed up on Saturday. I'll probably just be in something kind of cute and comfortable. But on both Friday and Saturday, if you find me, come say hi. I'm going to have book swag. I've got bookmarks. I've got stickers this year. I've got cool stuff. I'm going to try to carry some copies of my books with me. So if you want to buy them directly from me, you can buy them directly from me, and I'll of course sign them for you, and I would love to do that. But obviously I can't. My books are thick and heavy for one reason, but also, and I have 3 of them currently published for another, all of which are almost 400 pages or more. So there's that, but I won't have a lot of books on hand to sell, but if you do want to purchase one, I'll try to have a few with me, and I will sign them and take a selfie with me. If you take a selfie with me, I will post it to my stories. I will tag you on Instagram, and it'll just be fun, and I'll a little reciprocity and call you out and say, hey, look who I found at DragonCon, and it'll be in my Instagram stories, and you can share whatever. But it's just one of the fun things that I'm doing that I think would be exciting, and I like to do that. And frankly, I want to see, if you're at DragonCon and you're dressed up, I want to highlight your costume. I want to see what's up, and if you have a little business or something, hey, maybe some of my followers would want to follow you too. So I want to try to do that, kind of promote each other. I will be there the entire time. I will be there with author Alara Dunn, who is my friend. She will be cosplaying with me as the dragon in the Chinese zodiac on Friday night. And then on Saturday, I don't know if she's dressing up. I think she's just going to wear like a witch costume, because her book, The Magic Locker, The Witch's Curse, is out now. It was published on July 25th, I think. It's doing really great. Rankings are great. I think it was in the top 3 for her particular genre of fantasy, for YA fantasy. So Really fantastic. I am starting to read it now. It's actually fully illustrated. I haven't gotten a chance to get into it too much yet, but it's really good so far. Her writing style is excellent, and frankly, it's a quick read if you're not, like harebrained busy. So, yeah, pick it up. She and I will be hanging out together. She's got plenty of book swag too. So, we'll be a couple of fantasy authors hanging out and having fun, which should be really exciting. Actually, I might dress up as Jocelyn on Saturday if I don't get Ushi finished, because I don't even, like, the rooster is mostly not finished at this point in the con, and it's in 12 days. So, yeah, I'm losing my mind a little with the stress. I'll be honest with you. I am kind of losing my mind. Very stressful. But you know what? It's going to be okay, because I've got my big project. Because I have my day job. I'm actually the head of a new project at work, which we're kicking off a new integration, which is a very large integration this week. I'm the lead, so I have to do all the things, plus all the other things, because I am the lead for 3 other main operations at the bank. So it's kind of... I'm stressed. Stressed. That's okay, because I'm gonna make it through, and I'm a good writer, and I'm a good worker, and I'm gonna make things pretty, and it's gonna be nice. It's gonna be just pretty, and I'm gonna throw some glitter on it, and it's gonna be fine. That's what's gonna happen next. Yes. And I think, honestly, I've sort of babbled on this episode, but I have given information, and hopefully it was received. So yes, and always, follow me on Instagram, at Hollis Jo McCullum, my website. It's all in my little profile on YouTube and in Spreaker. So if you want to find me, and if you go to my website, HollisJoMcCullumAuthor.com, all one long word with no uppercases anywhere or spaces or weird characters. It's all just like HollisJoMcCullumAuthor.com. Shoop. That is the pivot point. You can go to any of my platforms from there. Anything. Any purchase links, any social media links. If it's not on my website, I don't have it. Well, actually, my Goodreads isn't on there, but maybe I should add it. But yes, it's my pivot point for everything. My Spotify for this podcast, everything's on there. So if you go there, I do need to do another blog post. I have been overwhelmed and I haven't been paying attention to everything. So there's that. Please follow me for updates. I'm always happy to talk books, even if you just have random questions for me about writing or random questions in general. I'm cool with that. I love a random question. What's your favorite dinosaur? For me, it's the T-Rex right now. I know that everybody says it, but I mean, he's a classic. He's just with the little arms. I love it. I love the T-Rex. It's cool. Big fan. And then the next episode of this podcast will be September 3rd, which will still be DragonCon weekend. So maybe if I'm feeling sassy, I might actually dress up a little bit. Not a lot. I don't know, because it'll be, whatever. And for those of you who watch this on YouTube, I'm talking to you via video. So if you don't just listen to it, maybe I'll throw on some elf ears. It might be fun. So that's their plan there. So September 3rd, and I'll probably be giving you a rundown of how DragonCon went and updates. Maybe we'll go in a little bit into Ignited and talk about that and the upcoming cover reveal. The other thing is, thank you. That's it. I want to thank you. I want to thank you for listening. I actually saw a huge jump in listeners this week in my little podcast statistics. So hooray! Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Really exciting for me. I don't have a lot of listeners, so that the fact that more people are tuning in just makes me so glad. And as you know, I'm just trying to live the dream, just trying to be an author and yeah, I just love to write. I want to share, and I really appreciate you all allowing me to share with you. And I hope you enjoy my very nonsensical ramblings. I do try to keep things organized. If you watch a video, you notice I look down and I have notes. I keep notes. I do the things. I try really hard. So thank you so much for listening. I genuinely appreciate it. And I will see you all probably, yeah, well, not probably. I will hopefully see you at DragonCon. And I will definitely see you next time, September 3rd.